The Delaware and Hudson Company was formed in 1823 for the purpose of building a canal to haul coal. Its more lasting impact was the rail network, including operating the first steam locomotive in America, the Stowbridge Lion. Once the star of the Northeast, the bridge line to New England and Canada, now the last vestiges of this mighty road are about to fade from view. Lake Champlain is one of the most important strategic waterways in North America. Throughout the colonial time period, it saw countless armies traverse its banks. It was also important as part of a trade network, seeing countless boats ply its waves. By the late 1800s, the economies of Montreal and New York City were being linked by the steam locomotive and the railroad. Plattsburgh, this upstate New York City, was defined by the lake, the railroad, and the military. The military is long gone, and the lake no longer is a trade route, but the railroad still plays an important part of the economy. The Delaware and Hudson gave way to Guilford. Guilford gave way to the Canadian Pacific, and now part of the Canadian Pacific gave way to Norfolk Southern. on this, or? Rouses Point was an important junction town. At one point, it was a junction between the D&H, the Rutland, the Central Vermont, the Canadian National, and Napierville Junction Railway. Although the Rutland Railway went away in the 1960s, the nickname for the crossover, the Diamond, is still used today as a landmark marking where the Canadian National Track separates off from the Canadian Pacific Track. More recently, the D&H station in Rouses Point has been restored and opened up as a railroad museum with great artifacts and collections on the railway and local history. Plattsburgh and the railroad and the military were intimately linked for a number of decades. Although a small military post in the early 1800s, by the 1890s, a major military outpost was built up in Plattsburgh, housing a full regiment of infantry. In Plattsburgh, you had soldiers that left by rail to fight in the Spanish-American War, World War I, and great civilian military training camps throughout the World War I period that brought people up from the cities to learn how to be soldiers. After the Second World War, Plattsburgh was selected as a site for a new Air Force base. Opened in 1955 as the Plattsburgh Air Force Base, it served as a strategic air command base throughout the Cold War and supported American soldiers in conflicts around the globe, including the Gulf War. It was eventually selected to be closed in 1994. With the base's closure, an industrial group tried redeveloping the base. Although today there are still large swaths of empty area and unredeveloped property. Canadian Pacific moved an office onto a base where they keep their local at the less than carload area where the heating plant had been. Plattsburgh was once an important destination for the Delaware and Hudson. It was a main industrial center. The lake served the D&H steamboat line. They owned a trolley, the Plattsburgh Traction Company, and it was home to the Hotel Champlain, the destination of the rich and the affluent coming out of the city. The Hotel Champlain, built by the D&H in 1890, was the summer White House of President William McKinley in 1897 and 1899. The railroad is not as influential as it once was, and the only reminders of the D&H are these lightning-striped locomotives that plod the rails occasionally. It is hard to say what exactly the future holds for these two locomotives, or the railroad itself for that matter. We do have the heritage and the history that go along with this once mighty road, and there are the dedicated employees and crews that keep the trains running and the road moving smoothly. Thank you for watching my video on the Delaware and Hudson Railway. If you enjoyed this, please like, comment, or subscribe. Also check me out on Facebook for more pictures, videos, and railroad news.